Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dustin from eSports Max here. I'm here with Veloc1raptor after he's knocked out of the tournament on Saturday evening of EVO 2014. How you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing all right. You put it in perspective of me being knocked out of the tournament, it brings me down a little bit, but you know.
Come on, man. I gotta state facts, don't I?
Fair enough.
All right. So, walk me through your matches. You took down Infiltration, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that was certainly the highlight of the tournament. Beforehand, my biggest threat in pools was Yosen, a Japanese jury player that Twitch flew out, and was nervous about him the whole time, but it was able to get through him, come out of winners in my pool, and play Infiltration first round. And I was like, this is great. I get an opportunity to play one of the greatest, if not the greatest player at the moment. And things went well. I ended up beating him. And so, yeah, there you go. Good times.
Right on. Could you walk me through the match a little bit? What exactly happened in the match, and why do you feel you came out on top?
Okay, yeah. So normally he's known for playing Akuma, but in this iteration of the game, Akuma's Vortex, which was I think his strongest aspect, was taken out. So I was not as afraid of Akuma. He actually went to Chun-Li, which was my biggest fear, because Chun-Li, while she has about the same life as Akuma, is very good with poking, keeping Goken out, and disabling him from starting up his gameplay. So the match was very slow-paced, very footsie-based, fireballs, zoning, and it just came down to who could make the best reads at the right time and play footsies the best. And I'm not at all saying I'm a better footsie player than Infiltration, but in our 3 games that we played, I ended up coming out on top, which was incredibly gratifying. It was good times. I was really happy about it.
All right, on. So why Goken? If you could just walk me through why you choose Goken in most situations, and most people don't use them, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
My approach to most games in general, like when I play basketball and in basketball video games, I like to go for the 3-pointers as opposed to the close ones that are more safe. I go all or nothings. And Goken was a character that didn't have the ability to get in and do massive damage for free, but when he did get in, he did do massive damage. So it was kind of an all or nothing, and that just is my natural play style. Without even thinking about it, that was just the character that I was attracted to initially. I stuck with it. He wasn't regarded as a great character, which in and of itself was hard to deal with, but at the same time, when you do good with a character that nobody else uses, then you automatically have some kind of attention, some kind of a spotlight, a charisma, if you will, because you're playing someone that's not that good or not regarded as that good, and that nobody else does. So you're doing something brand new that nobody else has done. You're paving a whole new trail. So that was a cool aspect of it in and of itself. So a combination of just he fits my play style and that he was uncharted territory was what drew me to him the most.
Okay, so you were on Team WNF last night against WNF versus NLBC. How was it to blow NLBC up 5-1?
At first, when the whole thing was first announced, I thought, man, we have this free. Nobody on that team is going to definitely beat anybody on our team. And then the exact opposite was true. I thought anybody on our team could probably take out most, if not all, of their team. But as it drew closer and we saw Dominion play and we saw how these guys are, there was definitely nerves. It was definitely a chance that things could go, sour. But as things played out, we definitely won the first one, won the second one, started to snowball, got that momentum going, and even with Snake Eyes, ironically, being the only one to lose one, and it's absolutely okay. Snake Eyes, you've already pulled your weight. That'll do, pig. That'll do. It was a lot of fun, and I think that kind of cements, as of right now, who the better coast is. And that's not me bragging as much as it is me asking the East Coast to step it up, so the next time we play this, it'll be even more interesting.
Well, would you say that it's more SoCal being better than New York, or would you say the coast is actually better? Because it's you're talking coast versus coast. Really, it's just one arcade versus another arcade. Now, you're not including a lot of other players that don't live in those areas. Now, what do you think?
That's fair. When I say West Coast versus East Coast, that's not an accurate representation of the whole thing. The West Coast absolutely does have PR Balrog, Ricky Ortiz, Justin Wong that wasn't, they weren't even in it.
Right.
And then the East Coast has their other hard hitters that weren't available because it was NLBC and that specific arcade. So yes, it was arcade versus arcade, but still, I think if it was East Coast best versus West Coast best, I'd still give it to West Coast. Again, challenge to the East Coast to step it up.
Either that or move to the West Coast.
Shout outs to Knuckle Dew coming to San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so obviously we're here at EVO. Capcom Pro Tour is here. What do you think Capcom Pro Tour brings to the FGC as a whole?
I am very excited to see Capcom putting as much as they are at this point into the fighting game community, helping to grow things even more. Obviously, they produce great content. They've put Street Fighter out. They've put Marvel out. They are the heart of the scene. Without them, there's nothing. But to see them do something like the Capcom Pro Tour, whether it is as successful as they wanted it to be or not, I'm happy to see them doing it. And only time will tell to see how things turn out. But I am excited. It adds a whole new aspect to everything. People want to know, wait, how are people ranked? Where are things going with everything? Who's going to be at what tournament? So I am definitely for it. And like I say, I am excited to see where it goes.
Now, do you think that, with the direction they're going, do you think that eventually it'll become like the next big LCS type thing, like with League of Legends, or do you think it's going to stay kind of like in its own unique sector of the competitive gaming space?
Well, the goal is to always grow the community. So right now we're specifically talking about the FGC.
Right.
I would love to see it grow to the numbers and the attention that League of Legends has to that status. We are definitely far behind that, but one step at a time, I think this is a good first step to go towards that. And yes, like I say, I would love to see it get to that point. And I, as an individual member of the community, I want to do everything in my power to see my scene grow towards that and help contribute to the entire community. And I encourage everybody else to do what they can to hype up the scene, to hype up the community, and move towards that status of where LCS is at to eSports, to sports.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Being a part of Wednesday Night Fights, almost every week, right? How important do you think that is to you as a player? Like, would you say that a player that doesn't live near a big arcade, a big hub for fighting game players to gather, do you think they're at a distinct disadvantage over players who are living in those areas?
I think that it's almost goes without question that when you're in a focused central community with a lot of players, so you have a lot of different character matchups at a lot of high-level play, that you're going to have the advantage. Some people only have that online experience because they live in an area where there's one or two people that play the game, and all you can do is go online, and that introduces the lag factor, and it's almost a completely different game when you get down to the nitty-gritty. So yes, to answer your question, I think that it's almost crucial to visit or be in a place like SoCal, like the centralized areas in the East Coast, and then the few in the Midwest that have a concentrated area where there's a lot of players that can give you that experience in all areas of the game.
But there's still those exceptions out there, like for example, GamerB. He's from Taiwan. He doesn't have practice partners. How do you think they get over that kind of thing?
Some people are just magically good at fighting games. They're good at analyzing that chess matchup, understanding other people, and being able to react. And no matter what game they get into, they're going to be pretty good at it. GamerB is obviously one of those examples. He has whoever he plays with in Taiwan, and he now is it Taiwan?
Yeah.
Okay, Taiwan. So he plays there as much as he can, but nowadays he travels. He had to get over that first initial hump, obviously, of being stuck where he was without as much competition, and he did that. So yeah, I think it's very important to be able to, if you're in one of those areas, to travel as much as you can and get as much experience if you're going to take the whole thing seriously.
Right on. So we're running into top 8 tomorrow. Care to give any predictions?
The big thing on my mind as far as top 8 goes is that we have Snake Eyes, my friend from home, my home arcade. We're seeing him with a character like Zangief, who is very good but also limited, has very, very bad matchups. And to see that in the top 8 at EVO, to see, I think the most interesting thing about the whole thing is that a lot of the EVO gods, Infiltration, Daigo, Tokido, are not in top 8 this year. PR Rog, not in top 8 this year. And so we have a whole fresh batch of guys. Anything could happen. And that's one of the things that makes the whole EVO experience, the whole tournament experience, so exciting. So the first person that comes to my mind, Snake Eyes, I would like to see him win just because America would win, and it's one of the guys from my home state, right? Well, my home turf.
Right.
But I would also be very excited to see Sako win, because I feel like he works very hard. He's a very dedicated player, and I'm ready to see Sako take home an EVO championship too. So, all right, that's kind of my thought going into everything.
All right. Well, I'll let you go and prepare to get hyped tomorrow. But before you do you have any closing words or shout-outs for the community out there?
I just want to encourage everybody in the community to be classy. If I'm going to be in front of a camera and have a microphone right now, I encourage everyone to, as we grow, and I think that we as the FGC are growing right now, I want to encourage everybody to think about their conduct, think about the way they interact with everybody else, and as we grow into this new, closer to LCS, closer to big eSports, whatever, we gain a lot of popularity and are under the microscope from a lot more people, that we gracefully make this transition into big-time gaming as people that others think of as classy people. So that's my most important thing.
Well, very well said. And I'd like to thank you for your time, Velociraptor. Obviously, enjoy the rest of EVO. And this has been Dustin Steiner from esportsmax.com. You can follow us on Twitter at esportsmax. You can follow me at GetSteinerd. And you can follow Velociraptor at
Velociraptor.
With a 1, without a 1?
Yeah, it is a 1.
Okay, with the 1 in the middle. With the 1 in the middle, guys. All right, so just for EVO 2014 coverage at esportsmax.com. Thank you.